are our 4 different patterns. We learned a little bit about color theory. Now, on our paper, this is going to be our background. Kinley. This is going to be our background. What we're going to do for our picture, this is going to be a cool color background. We are going to take this piece of paper and divide it into 3 sections. So that means you're going to draw 2 lines. It doesn't matter if you want to divide it vertically, so you're going to draw 2 lines to have 1, 2, 3 sections. You could draw horizontal lines to have 3 sections. You could do curvy lines to do 3 sections. You're just going to choose, you're going to draw 2 lines that go from one side of the paper to the other side of the paper. They cannot cross, okay? 2 lines, however you want. They cannot cross. If they cross, that would be more than 3 sections, right? That'd be 4. And we only want 3 because you are going to take, now, here is where it becomes tricky. We're going to take 2, you have 3 cool colors, purple, blue, and green, right? You can only use 2 colors in each section. What? You can only use 2 colors in each section, and, dun dun dun, they have to be 3 different types of patterns. Okay, so very lightly, I'm going to label this for myself. I'm going to do a movement at the top, and I'm going to use purple and blue. Do you see how lightly I wrote that with a P and a B? So I know I'm going to use purple and blue. In the middle section, I think I'm going to do a random pattern. And I'm going to use green and blue. And then down at the bottom, I think I'm going to do a normal pattern. And I'm going to use, what 2 colors do I have left? Green and purple. Okay? So I put these on here so that way I know I can erase those later on. We're going to be doing this in crayon. So I would choose 3 of your patterns, write it nicely. Also write the first letter of the color in each section so that way we can start creating our pattern. All right, so we have our 4 patterns: normal, tessellation, random, and movement. And your goal was to take your paper and divide it into 3 sections by 2 lines, and then put you're going to use 3 of the 4 patterns, and then 2 cool colors, and you can only use the cool colors twice. So I have my movement pattern with green and blue, I have my random pattern with blue and purple, and I have my normal pattern with purple and green. Now we're doing this in crayon so we can make our watercolor resist. Now when we paint this, we are going to use the third cool color that we didn't use before. So if I use green and blue here, the cool color I didn't use was purple. All right, so I'm going to go water, paint, waking it up, and then I'm going to go purple. Now when I do this, I want it very, very light. And before I paint this all, let's take our eraser, and I'm going to erase those words. I don't want that on my final paper. All right, so blue and purple. And as you can see, the cool science reaction or blue and green, and I'm using purple, the science reaction where the watercolor, you can see it just be spread apart from that crayon because water and crayon do not mix. More water than paint. As you can see, I just went back into my water and I'm going to smooth that out. Now I'm going to skip over my middle section right now and I'm going to go to the bottom one. Let's see, I used green and purple clouds, so that means I would use blue. So I'm going to wake up my blue very nicely, back and forth with my paintbrush. I'm not digging my paintbrush into my paint because 1, it ruins the paintbrush. 2, it's not good for the paint. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to just nicely go back and forth, just sweeping it. Again, cool chemical science reaction of water and wax, not mixing. I could have colored my clouds in rather than leaving them open. Oh well. Alright, so I have purple watercolor, blue watercolor, and my last watercolor is going to be green. Wake up my watercolor and then go in with my green. More water than paint. All the way to the edges. Try not to leave any white. If you need to go back in with the other color to get everything done, go for it. It's okay if you get it on your messy mat. That's why you have a messy mat. Mrs. Carlson forgot to put her messy mat down. And my picture is done. I'm going to go back and fix my blue in spots because I see I left some, especially around the edges. Maybe a little purple around the edge. Awesome. All right, at this stage, it's going to go on the drying rack. All right, we have our cool color patterns. Good job.